Hi everyone! So in today's video I'm going to share with you all of the most common reasons of why a book doesn't sell on Amazon KDP. So if you're struggling to get lots of book sales on Amazon, then this video is perfect for you. Alright, so let's get right into it. So just quickly about us. So Cleo and I have been selling on Amazon KDP since 2019, and since then we've created 2 accounts and have sold over 220,000 books. So we're really just sharing our journey with you. All right, so the first reason is the wrong niche. So by niche, I'm talking about the niche that you're targeting on Amazon KDP. So if you're doing notebooks, for example, and you're just targeting the keyword notebooks, that would not be the right niche. With Amazon KDP, it is really, really important to niche down. And here's just one example of why that's so important. So if you just type in notebooks right here, we can see with our Titans Quick View Chrome extension, this is a totally free tool, that there are 85,000 search results for this search term. So you can see that if you're just targeting the keyword notebooks, that it would be way too competitive. We can see here that also there are 0 independently published books on page 1. So that's just another indicator that this niche is too saturated. So one more reason to niche down further. Here we can also see that the average reviews is 8,000 and the highest reviews book is 108,000. So it's very, very competitive. Then also with our Titans Deep View tool, we can see right here that this keyword or niche, whatever, has 0 books on page 1 and have under 50 reviews. So that's obviously something that we're also looking for, so we can see that we have chances to actually rank on page 1. So when you're publishing a book and looking for a niche, it is really, really important to look for niches that are smaller. And what I mean by smaller, you usually can start finding niches with words that are 3 or 4 words long. So maybe like graph paper notebook 8.5 by 11. You can see like that's many words in a row, and that's just one example. I'm not saying it's a perfect niche for you, but that's just what I mean by niching down. So instead of notebooks, it could be notebooks for children in elementary school. I'm also not saying this is a good niche. I'm just giving you an example of what I mean by that. So yeah, when looking for niches, look for longer tail keywords, and I think you'll do really well with that. All right, so second thing is, when do I get my Lamborghini? This is a funny comment that a person left on my last video, which was all about the lies that are shared online about Amazon KDP, because a lot of people talk about getting rich quick on Amazon, and it's just not the case. So Amazon KDP takes a lot of time and effort to actually start seeing results. And for most people, vast majority of publishers, the beginning tends to be slow, and it tends to build momentum as you publish more and more books, and the longer you start doing Amazon ads and the more you start doing marketing on social media apps and stuff like that. So it's definitely more of a slow and steady game. Obviously, some people will have luck with one book and it will take off really, really quickly, but that is just not the norm. So I always try to share the best expectations so users don't get too disappointed and have false promises. So Cleo and I have been publishing books since 2019, and we're still actively publishing books. So it's really just a long-term play, and it's really just like any other business. It takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes doing the same things over and over again. So once you publish one book, then you want to start working on the next book, and keep going like that. And the other thing which is not often talked about is that not every book will actually sell. Some books will do really well, some books will sell a few copies every week or maybe every day, but then some books might not sell at all, or some books will stop selling. And this is also common, and I think it's also normal. So if you have a book that doesn't do well, that's okay. The more practice you have and the more experience you have, the easier it will get and the better your results will be. Most of our books do okay, but we still have a few books here and there that absolutely tank and they don't sell well, and it's just really just, it is what it is. So it happens to everybody, and I don't think there's one person where it doesn't happen to. Even if you look at the Coco Wayo author, if you look at all of their books on Amazon, on their profile, you will find books that are not selling currently and that have never done well. So even the best people on Amazon KDP, they also have their own struggles, and not every book will sell well, okay? So just keep that in mind. And if you're interested in all the lies that are told about Amazon KDP, then watch this video right here. In this video, I really cover pretty much every single lie that is spread about Amazon and KDP and what is false and then the true data about those lies, okay? So if you're interested in that, watch it after this video. All right, so the next reason a book does not sell well on Amazon is not using Amazon search suggestions. So this is probably the most important tip I can tell anybody. And when I mean search suggestions, I'm talking about the search box on Amazon websites. And when you start typing in a keyword, Amazon will give you search suggestions right here. These are the best keywords to use for your books, best keywords to use for your titles or subtitles if it makes sense for your book. In most cases, if you're doing low content books or medium content books, this will make sense. But if it doesn't make sense, at least put these kind of keywords in your 7 backend keywords and you'll start doing much, much better. One thing I've seen a lot is people just kind of almost inventing keywords and just keywords that they think people are looking for, or using keywords that sound good, but those are not keywords that people are looking for. If you want to be certain, use keywords that are suggested by Amazon, because with that you will know that people are at least clicking on it and searching for it. And if you want more than just a few suggestions, you can use the Titans Pro Chrome extension, and sometimes you'll get even hundreds of search suggestions if it's a really popular niche. And then you can see lots of ideas and lots of inspirations of keywords you can use for your books. All right, so next reason is seasonal books. So sometimes you can see all of these hyped and exciting books and niches for Halloween or for Christmas or for Thanksgiving or for Easter or Valentine's Day and all these most popular niches. And while they are good, I would not recommend these kind of niches for beginners because they're very, very competitive. So all of the best publishers on Amazon KDP, most of them will all focus on those markets because of the amount of sales that one can get during these time periods. But because all of the experienced publishers are going after these niches, that doesn't mean it's good for beginners. So here's just one great example. If you look at Halloween coloring book, we can see that this only has 10,000 search results. And if you asked me a few years ago, I would have said 10,000 is too high, but obviously Amazon KDP is getting more and more competitive. So my threshold for 10,000 results is still totally fine these days. And here we can see it has a demand of 7 currently and an opportunity score of 5 if you look at our Titans Quick View Chrome extension. And we can also see here, which is really, really cool, that out of the 48 books on page 1, that 26 of them have less than 50 reviews. And what's even better is that there are 7 books on page 1 that have less than 5 reviews. So you can see that this niche, if you are experienced, has a lot of potential, but the people that are publishing and creating these new books right now for Halloween, most of them will be experienced. So if you're not experienced, it'll be really, really hard for you to actually compete against them. So if you're a beginner, I recommend doing evergreen. And what evergreen is just regular niches that people will be searching for the entire year long. And what's actually better about the evergreen niches is that once you have a book that starts selling, it can sell every single week of the year instead of just a short few weeks of the year if you are doing seasonal books like Halloween coloring books or something like that. All right, and this quick thing here, a few days ago, Cleo and I launched our brand new community, and this is hosted inside of our own website. So we're starting to move away from Facebook because Facebook tends to have a lot of people DMing people and users about different spam and scams and, you know, it's just all this kind of stuff. And this is true for all groups. So if you want more privacy and if you want to have all your questions answered, you can ask any and all of your questions here. There are no stupid questions. You can literally ask any questions all day long and Cleo and I will answer them or someone else. But usually so far I've answered every single question myself and I truly like helping you guys. So if you have any questions and if you want to be off Facebook, you can go to community.selfpublishingtitans.com and go ahead and start asking your questions and I'll help you and answer them as best as I can. All right, so next reason of low book sales or no book sales is your cover. The cover is one of the most important things. And there's this phrase that, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, but we all know that everybody does, whether it's books or real life. So here's just one example I want to show you. So these are brand new books that were published this year. And these seem to be probably beginners. And then here we can see these covers, you know, not to make them totally wrong or totally bad, but if you compare it to these best-selling covers, we can see that these covers are higher quality, they're better designs, they're much more attractive. And to be totally fair, most people will click on these books rather than these ones. So let's just make it really, really obvious of why it is so important to have a really, really good cover. Because you see the cover, if you like the cover, you're more likely to click on it. And if you see a cover that you might not like or it doesn't look good or is lower quality, then less people or even no one will click on it. So then all of your hard work goes to waste. So the cover at first is even more important than the actual book interior. And the reason for that is because they see the cover before they actually see the interior of the book. So make sure to have a really good quality cover. If you don't know how to make a quality cover, consider taking some courses on Udemy or watching YouTube videos and getting to learn Canva. And if you have a budget for covers, then try to find someone on Upwork. I think Upwork has higher quality people than Fiverr, so I would try looking there first. But if not, you can also check out Fiverr and see who you can find there. Then next up, we have the book title. So book title is also super important, not only for the click-through rate and just the general appeal of the book, but also for keywords and SEO in general. So here we have the same example again, but now I'm going to show you the title. So here we can see that this title is Halloween Coloring Book. And here, same thing, Halloween Coloring Book. And if you look at these titles, they are 4 lines long, each of them, and they even are cut off because they're so long. So the longer your title up to a certain point, the better, because the longer a title is, the more keywords and the more valuable phrases you're able to put in it. And this is good for Amazon search algorithms, but also for buyers who are looking to buy a book. Because if you can put more relevant information in the book's subtitle, then people might already be more interested in the book itself. And I did some research for you to make this even more obvious. So I downloaded all of the titles with our Type and Script Chrome extension, and then I put them into Google Sheets and counted the character length of each of these titles and subtitles. And here we can see that the average title had 127 characters. So here again, we can have this title right here that wasn't selling at all. And then one of the best sellers, we can see the title is long. So the average was 127 characters. So that is something to keep in mind. One thing that Cleo and I always teach others is to have a title to be between 80 and then 100 characters long. Obviously, it doesn't work every time. Sometimes it can be slightly longer, but this is pretty much the rule of thumb we're trying to go for. And that has worked well for us. So maybe take note of that. And then a few more title considerations. So if it's a lower medium content book, you want to try and use the main keywords that you found with Titans Pro or whatever tool you're using in either your title or your subtitle. That will really, really help you out. But once again, if that's not possible to do, at least put them in your 7 backend keywords. You have to have some really, really good keywords that are niched down in some part of your SEO listing for your book. Once again, make sure you're using search suggestions because those keywords you can be certain for that people are searching for and clicking on in the Amazon search suggestions bar. Then the other important thing for titles is that you need to make sure that you have it capitalized correctly. Like here, we can see that this person right here is Halloween Coloring Book and it didn't capitalize the C and the B. So it's just going to be a little bit lower quality and a little bit less appealing because people will know that it wasn't capitalized correctly. The other thing is you can often find titles on Amazon that have spelling errors or grammar errors. So this is also something that will make it really, really bad for your book to actually get clicks and sales. Because if people notice that there's a spelling mistake or a grammar mistake, they're even less likely to buy it because it'll make the perceived value of the book that much lower. The other thing is sometimes you can make titles way, way, way too long. So don't keyword stuff, don't overdo it. The point of the title is to make it good for the search algorithm to understand your book. But even more importantly is for the buyer to be interested in your book title and the book itself. So make it a clean looking title, make it easy to read, make it interesting, and you'll do much, much better. Now, if you have the reverse of this, making it too short, like the example I showed you earlier, if your title and subtitle is 3 words long, most likely you're not going to do well. Obviously, you can also find lots of examples of famous authors that have short titles and no subtitles, or short titles and short subtitles. But this is just tips for the general people just like us that are doing low, medium, or maybe even some high content books. So just take advantage of your title. The other thing that's really important to mention is that you need to always think about the mobile app that's for Amazon. So if people are shopping on Amazon on the mobile app, the titles that are actually shown for each product or each book is much, much shorter than what is on a actual browser on a computer. So you want to have your most important words or your keywords in the beginning of the title so that can show even from the mobile app where a lot of the purchasing is actually done. So something to keep in mind. All right, so next thing we have book pricing. Book pricing is also really important. A lot of people tend to go really, really low to try and be competitive, but that is not always the best strategy. And you always need to think about your actual profits and your room for actually running Amazon ads. So if we look at this example here for Halloween coloring books, we can see that the average price is $9.88. The lowest price is $4.39 and the highest price was $28.99. So Cleo and I tend to always look at the search results and find the most commonly used prices and then go with those prices. And those tend to be around the average, sometimes a little bit higher, sometimes a little bit lower. But for most books, we're not trying to race to the bottom. So that would be my tips for pricing. So just a few important considerations. So is your book interior high quality? So is it actually worthy of a 5-star review? This is important because if you look at the top 100 selling books on Amazon, they have an average review rating of 4.7 stars. So if you don't truly feel totally proud of your book, you feel like it could be improved, you feel like it's not really the best you could have done, I would wait to publish it and improve the book interior until you feel really, really good about it, okay? And also, if you copied someone's book, don't publish it, rather be original, start from scratch, make it better, be original, be your own self. Copying someone usually never works out, and if you copy someone, it's also very likely that you can get into trouble with Amazon KDP, at least in the long run. Sometimes people can get away with copying brands and trademarks even and all sorts of stupid stuff. But eventually these guys will be caught and suspended or blocked from Amazon and lose their entire account. So it's just not worth it. So always try to see how you can add value, how you can do more, how you can do better, how it can be nicer, how it can be bigger or sometimes smaller. Could also be adding value in certain senses. Maybe doing a special hardcover edition or doing a square book instead of a rectangular shaped book, or having more pages than your competitors. There's lots of ways to have more value. So there's always try to think about that to see how you can be better. All right, so next thing is 7 Backin keywords. I've made a whole video on that you can watch on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. But just one tip that is the simplest to give: use search suggestions, long tail keywords, phrases in your 7 Backin keywords. If you watch my video about the 7 Backin keywords, it will make sense of why I say that. You can also use a combination between phrases and singular words, but just watch the video on that. We also have a tool in case you're just totally overwhelmed by the 7 Backin keywords, where you can just type in your main keywords and then our tool will generate and analyze to see what might be the best keywords for you to choose. So you can also feel free to check that out. All right, so next point is Amazon ads. Amazon ads are super, super important. And I highly encourage you to at least start doing automatic campaigns as your first type of campaigns if you have never done Amazon ads before. I've also done an entire tutorial recently that shows you step-by-step how to actually create campaigns and all the important steps about it. So if you want to learn more about Amazon ads and how we do Amazon ads, you can watch this video right here. But Amazon ads has definitely been a huge part of our success and one of the main reasons we have sold 220,000 books since 2019. It has really helped us with our organic rankings and organic sales. And we're a really, really big believer of doing Amazon ads and really getting to learn those. All right, so I hope you found this video useful. Please let me know in the comments down below what other videos I should make, what topics I should cover, any questions you have. And yeah, if you like these videos, make sure to subscribe and then I'll see you next video. Bye.